Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Cooking for the Family. I'm Dyvonne and today I'm going to share with you how to make spaghetti carbonara. Italian cuisine is definitely my daughter's favorite, and through the years I've learned to make many restaurant style dishes that the family really enjoys. This is one that I cannot wait to share with you, how to make spaghetti carbonara. Are you ready? Let's get started. Now first what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with our parsley, and I'm using curly Italian parsley. However, I usually like to use the flat leaf Italian parsley. They didn't have actually any in the store today, and so we're just going to go on and use the curly parsley as a substitute. We're going to have a nice handful, and this is going to end up being about a third of a cup up to about a half of a cup of the chopped parsley. We're going to garnish our dish with the parsley, and then we'll have a little left over to the side that we can just put on everybody's plates as well. Next, what I do is I mince my garlic, and I'm using 4 cloves of fresh garlic. Now, if your garlic pieces are really big, you have big garlic pieces, then you probably want to use 3. If they're more on the smaller side, then you can go on and use 5. But if you got about the average size of garlic, 4 garlic cloves will really do you. You just do a nice fine mince. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to get together our egg and cheese mixture together to make our carbonara. Our egg and cheese mixture is going to be 2 large eggs, and then we're also going to be using 2 egg yolks. Now, when we're putting together our carbonara base of the egg and the cheese mixture, you want to use a large bowl. The reason being is because we're going to really thoroughly blend and mix that egg and the cheese together. Now with the eggs, we're going to be whipping and blending our eggs first before we add our cheese into our eggs. Now with your eggs, you want to make sure that you whip them very, very well. You're going to make them nice and airy and light, very yellow. So take your time because you really want to incorporate some air at this point to your eggs, as well as you want to make sure that you have no streaks at all of any of the whites, just only the yolk, okay? And so this is going to also help your carbonara to be nice and creamy when it comes time to adding our egg mixture to our noodles. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add some fresh coarse black pepper. Now with the black pepper, you can add a half a teaspoon up to a teaspoon if you want it a little bit more peppery. And we're also going to be adding some Parmesan cheese. Now when it comes to the Parmesan cheese, we're going to be adding a half a cup of the grated Parmesan cheese. Now traditionally with carbonara, you would use Parmigiano-Reggiano, like the kind that you would get in a tub that's freshly grated. But this is a recipe that I have just adapted to doing with the ingredients that we have at home. We always have our little shaker grated Parmesan cheese. I use that and it works very well. So in our bowl, we have our egg, we have our cheese, and we also have our black pepper. Be sure to whisk everything together very well. We're going to set that aside and we're going to work on our chicken breast. I have 2 large chicken breasts that I have rinsed and patted dry, and we are going to be using our kitchen shears, and I'm just going to go on and cut them, the chicken breasts, into bite-sized pieces. This just makes it really quick to just go on and dice up the chicken breast. We're going to do about the size of, say, like about the size of a nickel, but no bigger than a quarter, because when we do cook our chicken breast, it will shrink down a bit, so it's going to end up being a little bit smaller than what we're cutting the raw pieces here. Now also adding the chicken to your carbonara is totally optional. Now if you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returner, welcome back. And I want to thank all my wonderful subscribers for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your thumbs up, and your good vibe comments. I appreciate y'all so much, and I am just so excited to see my little channel grow. And it has truly been my pleasure to share with all y'all what I cook and bake for my family in my kitchen. So once we have our 2 chicken breasts all nice and cut up, what we're going to do next is we're going to go on and put some seasoning, and we're just going to season our chicken breast with salt and pepper. The salt and pepper is going to be to your taste, but in the description box below, I will have a list of all the ingredients you need to make this delicious, wonderful pasta carbonara. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how to put it all together. So once we have our seasoning, which is our salt, and I like to use kosher salt, our kosher salt and our pepper, go on and give everything a nice stir. Now we're going to set our chicken breasts aside and we're going to work on our thick cut bacon. You want to use thick cut bacon. Now traditionally with carbonara, you would use pancetta. Now, pancetta is not something that everyone can always easily find in the grocery store, so a great substitute is the thick cut bacon. And you want to have your slices, your pieces about like that, about say in size of like maybe a dime or so, no bigger than that. And I'm just going to go in and dice up the 4 pieces of thick cut bacon. Now, when it comes to your bacon, you can use either the applewood smoked bacon or the hickory smoked bacon. I've used them both and they both work very, very well. But if you can find pancetta, definitely go in and grab yourself some pancetta, and I will put that information in the description box below as well. So in my pan, I'm putting 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Now to that, we're going to go on and add our chicken that we had diced up. We're going to cook our chicken first. Now, when you are cooking your chicken breast, you want to make sure that you don't overcook your chicken breast because you don't want to dry it out. You're going to cook your chicken breast until it is it goes from being like really soft and kind of squishy in the center when you're pressing on it to being really firm. You're going to have nice firm chicken breast, and that's going to be in the middle of the pieces that you're cooking. And you're just going to kind of go on and saute it just like that till it's not pink anymore and there's some firmness when you push on it. That's when you know that your chicken is done, when you have that bit of firmness right there when you're pushing on your chicken. And when you're making your pasta carbonara, you want to use a pan that has high sides like I'm using right now. Also, I'm going to go on and cook the chicken in 2 batches because you don't want to steam your chicken. You do want to saute it a bit. So you want to be mindful not to overcrowd your pan when you're cooking your chicken. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to start on our bacon. And remember, we're using the 4 pieces of thick cut bacon that we've cut into pieces. And what we're going to do with the bacon is, the goal is that you want to render down your bacon. So we're not going to be trying to overly brown it and make it super crispy. Having your flame on a medium heat like I have right now really works best to render down your bacon like we need to continue to make our carbonara. So also you want to have your pieces nice and flat, and then later we'll mix them around. So in my pot of simmering water, I put 2 teaspoons of salt because we're going to salt our pasta water. And then I go on and I turn my flame on my water to get it nice and boiling. Now, when we're about at this point, go on and just mix your bacon around that you have in your pan. You want to make sure that you continue to render it down. It's not ready yet, so you need to make sure that you continue to saute it and render it down. We don't want to have any white pieces at all. Now we're going to go on and add our pasta, our spaghetti that we're using to our boiling water. So when it comes to your pasta and your bacon, it's about timing for sure. So once our bacon has started to brown a bit, then that's when we go on and we start on our spaghetti. Now, we're going to cook our spaghetti to al dente, and you do not need to add any oil to your pasta water while it's cooking, because we want our sauce to adhere to our noodles. And if the water is oily, that's not going to happen with your pasta when you make it. And so now see how our bacon is looking? It's rendered down. It's nice and brown, just like that. We don't have any burnt pieces, but it's rendered down and it's nice and brown. Now we put in those 4 cloves of garlic that we had minced, and we're going to saute our garlic all around. You're only going to saute your garlic and let it cook for about 40 seconds up to about 60 seconds, just to about a minute. You don't want to brown your garlic, but you do want to release all its nice fragrance and go in and saute it. Once you've sauteed your garlic and it's been about a minute, maybe a little less than a minute, then our spaghetti should be nice and al dente, and we're going to be adding our spaghetti directly to our pan. Now, with your pasta, you want to make sure that you reserve yourself at least 3 cups of the pasta water. And it's important to cook your spaghetti just to al dente, because as you see, we're going to continue to saute and cook our spaghetti in our pan that we had. I go in and I turn off my flame. I have my pasta water that's to the side. Once you have your pasta all in there, all the spaghetti, go on and mix everything around. At this point, I have my pan is on a low heat, okay? So now we add our egg and cheese mixture. Once I've added all the egg and cheese mixture to the pan, what I do is I turn my flame off on my pan. I go on and turn it off. We're going to go on and mix our egg and cheese mixture around. We have that residual heat from the hot pasta, the residual heat from the pan, and so we're going to be using that to start to cook that nice cream sauce that we have with the egg and the cheese. Now when our spaghetti is looking like this, our carbonara, it's going to be looking thick. This is when you add the nice starchy pasta water that we have, our cooking pasta water. That's why it's important that you want to reserve it. And you see how it starts to loosen up, and we're creating this nice creamy sauce. So once I start doing this and I'm creating this nice creamy sauce, then I went on and I turned my flame back on a nice low heat. Okay, so you want to turn it off at a certain time when you first add your egg mixture. And then once you've mixed your egg mixture around and you've added that nice pasta water that we have, and I added just a little bit at a time, you want to add it to you get the consistency that you're looking for, usually about a cup. Then we go on and we add our chicken. And again, the chicken is optional, but we really like to have our chicken in our carbonara. And so I just kind of mix everything around. Now, when I get to this point, I tell the family, hey, dinner's ready, because the sauce is going to continue to thicken. And so you want to make sure you have pasta water to the side as well. But it is nice and creamy and it is ready. We sprinkle on a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to also, once I sprinkle on with the Parmesan cheese, what I like to do is I just like to kind of mix the cheese around just a little bit and get it like worked down there into the noodles just like that. And it's just looking so good. It's smelling like so good in the kitchen. We're going to go on and garnish it with our nice chopped parsley we have. I'm going to go on and serve us up some, and we're going to see how we did. This is our wonderful carbonara that we have made today in the kitchen. You see that beautiful cream sauce that we made in the pan. It is looking so good. I cannot wait to give this a try. But you know what, y'all? I have been making this for the family for years, and so I know it's going to be good. And I've made a nice Caesar salad to go with it. There you go. There's your bite right there. It's a mouthful, y'all. Go ahead, give it a try. Okay, I'm going to go on and give it a try. Yeah, oh my goodness. This is so good, y'all. And we just made this from things that we have right in our kitchen, our ingredients, with the egg, that Parmesan cheese that we have in the canister. Oh my gosh. Y'all, this comes together so nicely with the spaghetti, and then you add that chicken on top as well. This is a beautiful meal. Well, I hope you give this recipe a try. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go on and hit that subscribe button. It's free. And if you like this video and appreciate the content, don't forget to show it some love. Give it a thumbs up and click share. And share this video with a friend or family. Well, that is it for me today, y'all. And remember, it's always good when Dyvonne is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.